October 18th, 10 a.m., District Court, Court number 4. We'll just get into it, don't we? Hey everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Wright's Attorney. We will begin the trial of Will Powers. So here we go. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah. Mr. Edgeworth, the opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence will be presented during the trial will all but point to this fact. I see. Very well. How about to move on to some testimony? Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court? Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio. See? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there's a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15, there were only three people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and the young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear was found lodged in the victim's chest when was the murder weapon. That's the case, in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again? No thanks. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear? How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. This spear was found stuck in the chest of the victim. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Oh boy. Will the witness declare her name? Why aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. Someone would make fun of me just because this boy cat in the chest. You call me Oldbag. Well, I just cried. Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection been sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony? That was not me going that fast. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, see, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you? You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one heck of an old bag. Witness's account. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 o'clock p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 p.m. when I got to the guard station. 1 o'clock, I guess. I was at the main gate from then until 5. And the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. That was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Let's see here. Oops. I need to present this. Wait. I'm sorry, not that one. This. This does not prove its real powers. You can't see his face. Let me get this straight, Miss Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course. Didn't your mama ever teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't. I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. I love when your eyes look like this. No one in the court was accusing you of that, witness. He's having trouble calling an old bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Moo Powers, do you? Humph, knows the old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? You mean Edgeworth is surprised? The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, old windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's a good. Let's hear about your proof, then. The man in the photo. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, doing the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So he had sprained his ankle? Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Okay. He broke a prop? Sure he did. He used his own samurai spear. His samurai spear? The murder weapon? Luckily I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record. Samurai spear updated in the court record. A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. Let's see here. Trip and fall? Yes, and think he was supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped to make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue testimony. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there's one thing that bothers me. Which is, where is this Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it's clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? I'm not sure if it matters, so... I think I'll wait and see where this goes. I suppose since there weren't any additional crew members at the studios that day, it's quite likely that it was the defendant inside that costume. I see no problem with this evidence. Most perceptive, Your Honor. He still doesn't seem that convinced to me, I hope. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. Witness's account continued. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No notes went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no notes went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Well... I'm going to present this photo again.
Objection!
Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sir, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture? And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Ooh, you know, if you wanted to work in the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words October 15, 2 p.m., photo number 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny. Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there's only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access. The security lady herself. Eh? Me? You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means the 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help. Huh? Believe me, I want you, but I don't know what this means either. Humph, somehow you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss O'Bag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate? Someone other than the Steel Samurai? Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. I see. Your testimony, please. The other person. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss O'Bag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn from the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. You don't say. Okay. Let's press this one.
Hold it!
Well, who in the heck was that in that photo you erased? A fanboy. A fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. When was there that day? That's a bit too loud for me.
Objection!
Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in? Those are your words. Well, and you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Kids? So in the photo that you erased, it was a boy. Probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day? One was a steel samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him. Can't kick him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade? I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield a samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest. So who was the steel samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The steel samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a steel samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick! What are we going to do? First, we play for some more time. We'll start talking to someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound really optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick. It's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sound like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order. Interesting. Let us see who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right. Great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person, or other than Mr. Powers, that could have committed murder? Well, I know for a fact that if you choose these two here, you'll get a hilarious reaction, but you also will be penalized. And as curious as I am to see what would happen, I'm not going to choose those two. The security lady is the only one we can pick. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The steel samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. there was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper. Order. Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point her finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right there. Sherlock Holmes too, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new dawning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there. Do something. What's my move? Maybe now it's my chance to take this the whole way? Let's press further. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Mr. Oldbag's actions on that day. Why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler, though, as you said. Second or third grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could have pinned my own man in 10 seconds, tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to the kids and mean to Elders Day? You mean to your Elders Day? Whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed? Let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder? I believe it's the Steel Samurai or the card key. I believe either one would work.
Take that!
The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, will the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy. What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Well, wait a second. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking. Oh, great. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been there at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. My lips were sealed. Let's see what this is about.
Hold it!
Who are these people? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scenes without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised that no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate on all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. No, Mr. Wright. Would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... I'll take a break. Your Honor, we have learned that there were others at the Zagolium Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. October 18th, 1:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was ready to ask you to defend me. Really, it's nothing. Grin. Or should I say... Why did I say the word grin? We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be tuning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that steel samurai costume? Could it really have been an old windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right, we'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Well, that was quite a trial. Well, and save it here. This one. And I will continue in the next video. So until then, everyone, hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button. I will see you all next time. So take care.